Alright, welcome back to the SuperCoach Nuff channel. In this video we're going to review week 8 of the 24-25 NBA Dream Team season. So a bit of a shortened week given the NBA Cup was on sort of half of it. Most teams only sort of played a couple of games in this particular game week. So 536 looks low, but it wasn't really that bad. 476 for the round, so top 20% for the round. Did sneak up 6 spots overall, so a green arrow is a green arrow. We take that. Still just lingering outside the top 300, the top 12% overall. So we'll have a look at the team and how they went. And again, I guess we just need to keep in mind that most of these were off 2 games. So Harden with 38, Daniels with 37. I guess for the price, we want a little bit more from Harden. And Dinwiddie actually with 44, so we probably left our best point guard on the bench. Edwards with 41 and Monk with 29. And Barrett didn't play, so not sure what's happened there. And if he's even available coming up. Jokic we VC'd with an 82, so that's off 2 games. We'd love to see that. Edie returned, scoring 30. Getting that cash gen going again, you love to see it. Johnson with 57 was quite good. Boston with 22. We could have gone with Champagne and Champagne maybe is how you say that. Not too sure. With 27. But Sabonis was our captain. We brought him in because he had the extra game and it paid off with a 93. Sar with a 44 has sort of rebooted his cash gen a little bit. And Filipowski, I think he was out last week as well, so might be an ongoing issue there. But we'll have a look at the matchups from week 8. So I did get the win over Reno's Rockets. So number 1 on the ladder, and I've got him. Unlucky Shano. But I guess you can see there maybe the slight difference. The captaincy going Sabonis got me a few extra points. Particularly, I guess, even if you looked at, say, Sabonis compared to a Towns, who I had, so he even, without the captaincy, scored another 20-odd points. Johnson outscored Brunson. Those sorts of, you add up those little point differences and they add up to about 40 points overall. But in terms of the league, looks like the highest was a 548 from ChatGPT. So he had Hero with 53, Tatum with a 90. It's a pretty good return. Pretty sure Boston only had 2 games. He had Fox with an 83. So I think I looked at Fox previously as well. He's gone well the last couple of weeks, but break even, don't know if that quite suggests that. Plus also I think the Kings go back to having some less games this week because of the extra one last week just gone. But yeah, nice one. 548. Yeah, so in terms of the plan this week, got the grid available. So if we scroll down, you can see the Kings do only have the 2 games this week. The Pelicans as well. They were the ones that had the extra games. So I guess it balances out there. The Clippers only have 2 as well. The Cavs only have 2. So, based on that, I think the players that have to go are Sabonis, Harden, only playing 2 games this week, and potentially Monk, only scoring 29. He's probably peaked in price anyway. So that'll be our 3. Do we potentially use a boost on Filipowski? Depends what cheapies are available. So actually, before I get into trades, I've been having a good flow of things lately, and then I completely have gone away. Wemby, 96 points this week. Pretty sure that was off 2 games as well. So is he the one that comes in for Sabonis? The Spurs have got 4 games this week. You'll love to see it. The Knicks have 4 as well for Towns owners. The Bucks only have 3, so Giannis probably isn't on the table. Boston with 4, so Tatum. is probably another target this week. Fox is, played that extra game, so we're not worried. Trey Murphy is pretty cheap, but the Pelicans only have the 2 games. Kevin Durant at the Suns, based off his sort of average is going all right. His game average is a bit flat, but I guess, none of them are screaming pick me at this stage. What are the Suns doing this week? 4 games, so potential. Cunningham's been quite good. I've seen a few people own him, 13.6% own him. Anthony Davis continues to be solid, 67. SGA. So a lot of the big names up here. I haven't seen anyone too cheap, if I'm being honest. So probably, Missy, he would have played 3 games, so not consideration. The Bucks only have 3, so maybe not Portis. Dylan Brooks, fairly sort of cheap, 58. But what are the Houston guys got this week? 4 games, so he could potentially be one of those cheapy options. Not that he's super cheap, but we'll take what we can get at the moment. But speaking of which, let's have a look at break evens. So Peyton, as we said, has gone back into the development league. Vincent's an interesting one, I suppose. -7 at that price. But averaging 5 doesn't fill you with optimism. Let's see why he's suddenly jumped out of the ground. There it is. So, sort of, I guess, in the last few rounds has featured a bit more. So, maybe worth a gamble as a cheap guard. Jeffries only played 4 games, which I guess sort of suggests he's just in or just back from injury. So, he's probably another one we'll look at. Highland plays for the Clippers, so they're on the do not use list. So, what teams are we looking at? Charlotte, because we've got Mičić here as well from Charlotte. Negative break even. And the Lakers. Lakers have 3 games. Charlotte has 3 games. So, not the ideal situation, but doable. I think we've got Cleveland. Pretty sure they were 2 games, yeah. So, we're not looking at them. Bezelis, still relatively good break even. Didn't do much for us this week though, with just a 9. And Chicago only have 3 games, so might have been a bit of a bust for those that brought him in. Sheed with a 33. What's his story? That cheap price. Takes a while to load. So sort of featured a bit early and then has dropped off. And then just one boom game. So probably not one to consider. But I guess at these sort of prices, you're not expecting too many to go off. It's probably more these ones that have only played a few games that are a bit intriguing, like why they've only just got into it. But there's a couple we can potentially use. Let's have a look at what the trends are at the moment. So a lot of people getting on Tatum. Makes sense. SGA, I guess, would probably have. I forgot what team that is already. Oklahoma. There we go. Yeah, they've got 4, so it makes sense. Anthony is a cheapie. I guess there is a few injuries there at the Magic, so yeah, okay. Gone good the last few weeks, so definitely a downgrade option there. Russell Westbrook, what's he been doing? So not a lot of production of late. He might be getting a bit old. I don't know, but maybe I don't know. Looks like he's in a little bit of form. Could be a sneaky pot. It's his ownership. Yeah, only, oh no, that's traded in. Yeah, where does it say? I can't work it out. Oh, only 1% of teams. Okay. Yeah, so I guess, the ones we've already identified as probably trading out this week are well and truly on the list. So Barrett might be injured. There's a few people trading him out. Oh, but let's bin Harden. Let's bin Sabonis. Um, yeah, let's bin Monk. And do we want to boost? And if we do, then who are we binning? Boston or Filipowski? We'll see what we can do because I'm pretty sure the cheapies weren't in the power forward spot. But we'll have a look what we can do here. So, in terms of power forward, we can either go back to Towns or we can go with Wemby, who was, I guess, our original pick at the start of the season. So they've both got 4 this week. Let's have a bit of a look ahead to week 10. Kings have 4, Knicks have 4, so that doesn't really help. Week 11, Kings have 3, Knicks have 4. So over the next 3 weeks, Towns gets 1 extra game. Is that, worth the difference? Can Wemby outscore him in that time? Yeah, let's see if we can get Wemby. It would be nice. It would be great if we could get both, but we don't quite have the jewels to make that happen. So I guess the next one on the list is Tatum, but I don't know what position he is. Obviously not these ones. He must be a small forward. Yep, so small forward, power forward. So I guess we do already have Johnson there at the higher price. But let's plug him in anyway, and we'll see. And then that just gives us 6.5 for our point guard. We've sort of ruined our dual positioning there with trading Muck out. But so it brings in those options like Vincent, Michic, Anthony. I feel like maybe we go with the crowd a bit, usually know a bit more than me, and we go with Anthony. And those 3 trades. Just thinking, do we get rid of potentially Barrett and just sort of try to open up that point guard, shooting guard swing with another one of the cheapies? Or do we even go with like a Jeffries? I don't remember his stuff already. Got a terrible memory at the moment. So he's only just sort of come in and has produced to a degree. Can we? Because the other option is it could be a way to get out of Filipowski. Let's try it. I might end up changing it off camera once I do some injury research and the like. But if we were to say push Johnson forward, it's going to live because Boston's down this week. It's probably not. Oh, hang on, he can swing through there, can't he? So we bring him in there. So I guess we were going to have 2 big small forwards anyway, but now it's just going to be 2 power forwards, which is fine. Could end up being a little option to swing Johnson back to say a Towns or something, get those big guns in there maybe. Yeah, so could potentially use a boost this week to do something like that. 2 up, 2 down. It's not the worst. Given the output this week, maybe Dinwiddie just comes in, just a bit more of a known quantity. This might be where we come unstuck a little bit. Although I guess we do also have the ability, if we want to play Jeffries and Champagne. Yeah, so he's not projected for much, but he's only just started, so these projections look nice though. So obviously Johnson would start over Saar. So there's a bit of a hole you can see in the middle there. As I said, we might have to look into Barrett and see what's up with that. But we won't spend all day. We'll just flip the VC and C. Obviously, Jokic is now forever captain, but Wemby's VC is pretty solid. So I guess we're continuing that onward march towards a pretty hot team. A bit of money on the bench, but we might be able to sort through that, I reckon. Well, actually, what if we undo the trade? Do a bit of real-time work here. So trade Jeffries back out. Push them back around. Oh, now I've got to find him. Phil. There we go. So let's put him back in for a second. Swap that around. So maybe like trading Barrett probably makes more sense because it's probably a bit easier to get someone in there. So just based on this week's points, maybe. Should put players we can afford. That would help. Go back to Cool Barley. Don't know how much more money he's got to make. Yeah, just looking at some of these. Clay Thompson, blast from the past there. But looking at those sort of prices and that, there's nothing too much interesting. So you could just go all the way down, free up some cash, which could be invested probably more so in the guards next week, that sort of thing. Yeah, so if we go off the projections, they probably look a little bit nicer. Yeah, so probably using the bench a little bit better, banking some cash. Yeah, so maybe something like this. I'm not 100%. But this will do for now. It's probably going to be like this because, I won't change too much. But it could all just depend on Barrett's injury if there is one. But we'll wrap the video up there. Save you listening to my rambling. As always, if you've got any questions, comments, thoughts, feel free to add them below this video. Give us a thumbs up, like if you enjoy the NBA content, and subscribe for all the fantasy sports content on the channel. And other than that, have a good Christmas, and we'll see you in the next one.